First tonight, the Commissioner of Police responding to recent crimes across the country and that investigation into the death of a missing Eleuthera woman.
I'm Emmanuel, and coming up tonight, Commissioner of Police Shanta Knowles is responding to the spree of criminal activity over the weekend.
Plus, the lone survivor of the Shirley Street car crash speaks out as the Bahamas Christian Council presents families of the victims with over $20,000. And the government launching One Tax Bahamas, aimed at reducing the hassle for Bahamian businesses and the Department of Inland Revenue. And then in our news at 7:30, while officials are pointing to a modest overall improvement, two core subjects remain areas of concern. This revelation as the 2026 national examination results are released. We have the details for these stories and more as our News Live at 7 starts now. Welcome to our news live at 7. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'm Megan Shepard. A deadly weekend of gun violence, leaving 3 men dead, several others injured, and renewed concerns about illegal firearms on the streets. The Commissioner of Police is now detailing how police are responding, from targeting prolific offenders to putting more officers on patrol. The top cop is also speaking out on the Katrina Kelly murder investigation and why police are confident in the case they've built. Our Delvado Emmanuel has the story.
We have sufficient evidence to support the charges on the 3 people who went to court last week. And so I want the people of Eleuthera to know that our heart is with the people of our communities and that we work in good faith.
Commissioner of Police Shanta Knowles commenting on the investigation into the death of 34-year-old Katrina Kelly. 3 people were charged last week, a 43-year-old woman and 2 men ages 31 and 34, in connection with her death, despite police not recovering her body. Knowles would not disclose what evidence investigators uncovered, saying the matter is now before the courts. She did, however, acknowledge that police were already days behind when the missing person report was made, saying Kelly was last seen on a Tuesday, but police were not notified until that Friday. Knowles praised investigators for continuing the search despite the delay.
I want to say thanks to my officers who did not look at the clock but diligently searched for her, searched through bushes, searched through ponds, searched through the sea, hoping that we could recover her.
The commissioner also addressing the recent gun violence across New Providence. Several shootings over the weekend left 3 men dead and others injured, once again putting the flow of illegal firearms into the country under the microscope. Knowles says the RBPF's anti-gang and firearms teams is working alongside the Royal Bahamas Defense Force and the Department of Customs to intercept weapons before they reach the streets.
We are definitely working our mandate to ensure that these weapons do not come into our country, and if they happen to come into our country, that we are able to track them and take them off our streets. Last year we had a major bust where we were able to stop a shipment of 25 weapons and I think just over 5,000 rounds of ammunition, and we were looking for success like that again.
As a part of her mandate, Knowles says she's also ordered more police officers from being behind their desk and onto the streets to further combat crime.
We continue to encourage our officers to patrol, and I'm pleased with the patrols that are happening around New Providence now, uniform patrols. I've instructed that all my vehicles, especially at nighttime, they are to patrol with lights so that people in the community would see that the officers are on the streets.
Now, despite the recent serious crimes, police maintain that overall crime is down, and they say they remain committed in cracking down on criminal activity and bringing offenders to justice. Reporting for our news, I'm Delvado Emmanuel.
Thanks so much, Delvado. Well, coming up on our news at 7:30, an internal police investigation now underway after a confidential document was leaked. Stay tuned for that. Meantime, grief filling the room today as relatives gather to honor the 5 young Bahamians killed in the devastating June 28th Shirley Street crash, a tragedy that shook the nation. For the first time since the crash, the only survivor is speaking out about that fateful night. We'll have the details from that report later in this newscast. Well, back in 2015, the government and the Department of Inland Revenue introduced a one tax administration system, allowing business licensing and value-added tax to be monitored under one platform. But other taxes, including real property tax and stamp tax, remained on separate platforms, creating an added hassle for taxpayers and the department. Now, the government is moving to digitize the entire tax system with the launch of One Tax Bahamas. Controller of the Department of Inland Revenue, Shirley Street, introduces the new system today during a presser at the Office of the Prime Minister.
So today, I am pleased to introduce you all and the Bahamian public to One Tax Bahamas. And One Tax Bahamas officially launches to you, the Bahamian people, on the 1st of September. And that's really the one message. I know Madam Director had many numbers for you, but the one thing I want you to realize is that we will now have a new tax system called One Tax Bahamas that every Bahamian, I think, will be impacted by. What does it mean for you? It means that there will be new tax identification numbers.
Well, the new system will bring those tax services under one platform, with taxpayers moving to a new business identification number, or BIN. And while One Tax Bahamas launches September 1st, officials say there is still time to make the transition. Those filing VAT for the final quarter of this year can continue using their existing TIN numbers. But moving into 2027, taxpayers will be required to use the new One Tax Bahamas system. Strawn is encouraging taxpayers to register early and get familiar with the new platform.
No need for panic because we've started early, right? And so BIN registration, like I say, starts September 1st. But really, you're going to need your BIN for the upcoming 2027 business license renewal period. So we're saying to people, come in early. Start early. Don't wait. Don't be like us. You know, we typical Bahamians, we wait for the last minute to do everything. But use the time to get yourself familiar with the system. We have a new website, a new One Tax Bahamas website. And so we're really encouraging taxpayers, all of you, even if you don't own a business, but you have, like I said, property, or you do import things, take the time now to register for your BIN. But come the end of the year, November, we will begin rolling out the platform for business license. And of course, definitely in January, you will be using the new One Tax Bahamas platform as opposed to the current OTAS system.
Well, if you're planning to travel internationally, the Ministry of Health and Wellness is urging you to take precautions if you're heading to an area affected by Ebola. The ministry says it is closely monitoring reports of an Ebola outbreak in parts of Africa in collaboration with the regional and international health partners. Travelers are being urged to check the health situation at their destination before leaving and follow guidance from local health authorities while abroad. If traveling to an affected area, avoid direct contact with anyone who is sick, as well as blood, bodily fluids, or items that may be contaminated. Officials are also advising against unnecessary visits to healthcare facilities in affected areas. For anyone returning to the Bahamas from an Ebola-affected area, the ministry says to monitor your health for 21 days after leaving. Symptoms can include a fever, severe headache, muscle or body aches, weakness, sore throat, vomiting, diarrhea, abdominal pain, or unexplained bleeding or bruising. If symptoms develop, avoid unnecessary contact with others and contact a healthcare provider or the ministry's National Disease Surveillance Unit before going to a healthcare facility. Well, it's back to school for the team at Queen's College, with teachers and staff returning to campus ahead of the new academic year. The school held its full staff enrichment session Monday, bringing educators together under the theme Thriving Together, Building Forward. The session focused on preparing staff for the year ahead and the role educators play in not only teaching students, but building their confidence, character, and sense of possibility. Reverend Dr. Jacinta Marie Neely, President-elect of the Bahamas Conference of the Methodist Church, challenged educators to work together and remember that every child who enters the classroom has different needs.
You have been given the blessings and the ability to build these students up, to strengthen them, to allow them to dream the impossible dream and to reach higher heights. You know, sometimes we take things for granted and people for granted, opportunities for granted. But I want you to just stretch yourself even the more to understand that every child counts.
And as Queens College prepares its students for another school year, Education, Science and Technology Minister Chester Cooper says schools must also be prepared for the changes happening beyond the classroom. Cooper invited Queens College to play a role in what he describes as a needed revolution in education across the country, as technology, the workplace and the needs of young people continue to change. He says the goal is not simply to make the current system better, but to build one that better prepares Bahamian students for the future.
The nature of school and work is changing. Technology and AI are changing. The skills demanded by employers are changing. And believe it or not, the aspirations of Bahamian young people are changing. And therefore, our education system must also keep pace with the changes happening around it. Simply put, our current system cannot change to become a slightly better version of itself. It must change and evolve and be revolutionized to become an education system designed for the Bahamas we intend to build.
Well, we've still got more to come, but for now, meteorologist Greg Thompson is standing by in the Weather Center. Greg, happy Monday. How's it looking?
Yeah, thanks, Megan, and a happy Monday evening, everybody. Another warm and humid day around the island's temperatures into the 90s once again with triple-digit indices. We still have that heat advisory for the entire chain. Settling into the upper 80s right now, 88 degrees our current temperature on the outside under partly cloudy skies. Your winds out of the east at 9 miles per hour, but those feels-like temperature still feels well up there. Feels like 98 degrees on the outside. Temperatures right now around the chain of islands. We are in the mid to upper 80s once again with 86 in Freeport, Grand Bahama, 85 Marsh Harbor, Abaco. Pick up 88, Alistown, Bimini, then 87s popping up in Nicholstown, North Andros, Great Harbour, Keithbury Islands, over in Governor's Harbour, Eleuthera. Into the central Bahamas, Kemps Bay, South Andros, 88 there, 88 also in Arthurstown, Kit Island, and in Port Nelson, Rum Key. Cobar Townsend, Salvador, 86, and more 87s popping up in Black Point, Exuma, Keys, Georgetown, Great Exuma, Deadman's Key, Long Island, and into the southeast Bahamas, 85, Duncantown, Ragged Island, 88, Colonel Hill, Cricket Island, Abrahams Bay, Miguana, 87s in Delectable Bay, Acklands, Providentialis, Tricks, and Caicos Islands, Matthew Town, Niagara, you rounded a temperature profile at 89. Satellite radar composite, we are quiet across the area. We have a weak boundary just to the north of Grand Bahama, sparking some showers and some thunderstorms. Some moisture associated with that boundary will continue to hang around. Saharan dust covering most of the remainder of the chain of islands, keeping us rather dry. 1 or 2 spotty showers expected, but that surface high pressure will continue to keep us with an east to southeasterly flow, bringing in some Atlantic moisture, so we could see 1 or 2 more showers over the course of the next several days. That's your first look at weather. Stick with us. We'll take a second look at our weather later on in the newscast.
Coming up in sports, good news for the home team in Chile, good news for a couple of hometown heroes in New York.
Assure Win is open 24/7.
You can now top up your Assure Win account anytime online with the online deposit option on AssureWin.com.
Or via any convenient Sun Cash ATM. Just click the Assure Win selection.
It's quick, easy, and always open. Assure Win online. What's your game?
Lotto, casino, or sportsbook.
Win big. It's Assure Win.
Quick, easy, and always open. Assure Win online.
For 38 years, Struckham Commercial Pest Services has provided trained certified technicians while using environmentally safe, industry-standard products. Pests can devastate your business. Together, we will ensure adequate sanitation standards and safe pest exclusion methods. Uncontrolled pest problems lead to significant financial loss due to food contamination, business disruption, and stock waste. Struckham provides detailed solutions protecting your business and reputation. Struckham, #1 in pest control services.
Craving pizza? Marco's Pizza has you covered. For a limited time, get our delicious large one-topping pizza for just $10. Carry out only. That's right, just $10 for cheesy, melty goodness with your favorite topping. Perfect for any time. Hurry into your nearest Marco's Pizza. This deal is available at participating locations only. Don't miss out on the flavor you love for a price you'll adore. Marco's Pizza, always magnifico.
Welcome to Our Sports at 7, presented by 10th Year Seniors. I'm Ronaldo Dorset. Let's do show. We needed to see what it looked like without the NBA guys, and against another round 2 team. Gotta say, looked pretty good. Also, it's insane that John pulled this whole thing off from where these conversations first started. Team Bahamas got the chilly test out of the way with a 94-87 win in Santiago, and there was plenty to like. Franco Miller Jr. was cooking, dropping 30 points and knocking down 5 threes. Dominic Bridgewater did a little of everything with a double-double, 19 points and 10 assists. Isaiah Mobley also scored 19, grabbed 8 boards, and went 3 for 3 from beyond the arc. Keno Burrows also got into double figures with 10 points. Okay, it was kind of weird that the Liberty kept silent for days on the JJ injury front. It was going to either be one of 2 extremes, catastrophic or nothing. Turned out to be the latter. The ankle was questionable, Jonquel Jones wasn't. Just 4 days after leaving the Liberty's loss to Chicago with a left ankle injury, JJ was back on the floor Saturday night, and she looked pretty comfortable. She dropped another double-double, 19 points and 10 boards in just 29 minutes, helping the Liberty to take down the Indiana Fever 109-102 at Barclays Center. Speaking of extremes, fans in New York, Yankee fans in New York specifically, I think everyone understands. The important thing is that they love Jazz right now. Until the next game. Jazz upped the production at the plate against another American League rival, and that's always good news for the Yankees. He went 2 for 4 with 2 runs and 2 RBI on Sunday, including his 18th home run of the season. That'll do it for sports. Don't trip. We got more. Stay locked in with us on our news at 7:30.
When our news comes back from the break, we turn our spotlight to stories making headlines across the world as European leaders mark Ukraine's 35th Independence Day as Russia's invasion pushes on with no apparent progress after more than a year of U.S.-led peace efforts. Plus, the United States and Canada fall deeper into a trade war with new tariffs as each side blame the other for the collapse of negotiations. And the U.S. and Jamaica sign a major military deal to deepen security cooperation between the 2 countries. We have the details when our news returns.
You or a loved one currently under medical care? Do you need affordable medical supplies? Ports International is the largest home health care supplier. Our compassionate team is committed to patients and their loved ones. From hospital beds to wound care, wheelchairs to walkers, Ports is a one-stop shop for your medical supplies, and we accept all major insurance. With 2 locations to serve you, at Airport Industrial Park and Shirley Street, we also ship to the Family Islands. Visit us on Facebook or call Ports at 377-1771.
Man, wait, I just see Paradise can't post someone win over 30,000 on Chessmate. You lie, Chessmate paying 30,000. Listen, if I win 30,000, I wouldn't tell nobody. But there would be signs. For real. But ain't plenty I can do with 30,000. As a matter of fact, wait, where you going? I got the Paradise kids throw a little something on my account. I need to try and catch Chessmate while it's still hot. Wait, you right, Jenna? Joking. I'm here up top of my account one time, you see?
Paradise Games, where every spin is a chance to win. Paradise Games reminds you to please game responsibly.
Pop the top and collect. Check your cap by 700. 200,000 in cash and prizes. With winners on different islands. Collect. Pop the top and collect. Check your cap by 700. You could win free bears, take a sip and collect merchandise. Matter says, I pop mine at I pop mine at when free bears are check your cap. Collect. Pop the top and collect. Check your cap by 700. You could win free bears, take a sip and collect merchandise.
Drink responsibly, boy.
Rubens has career wear from Casper and Klein and LeSuit that will take you from office perfection to after-hour elegance with professional tailored suiting and business casual pieces. We have your 9-to-5 fit, even in plus. At Rubens, we believe trailblazing women need clothing that will consistently deliver powerful looks that complement their style and confidence. Rubens has workwear for the guys too, with Dockers and Nautica pants, dress shirts, and more to enhance his professional wardrobe. Get dressed up with Rubens, Harbor Bay and Palmdale Plaza, with timeless suiting made to work.
You're watching our news. Welcome back. We turn our attention now to stories making headlines across the world. And President Volodymyr Zelensky in Kyiv on Monday to celebrate the 35th anniversary of Ukraine's independence and boost its long-range missile program as Russia pressed on with its 4-year-old invasion of the country. With no significant changes on the front line for months and no apparent progress after more than a year of U.S.-led peace efforts, both countries are locked in a spiral of escalating aerial attacks that are killing civilians and smashing infrastructure. Meantime, the leaders of Britain and France pledged to provide Ukraine with stronger military support, including access to classified technology and faster deliveries of air defense missiles at a meeting of allies to mark Kyiv's Independence Day celebrations. The United States and Canada fell into a deeper trade war Saturday, marked by new tariffs that are expected to raise prices for products in both countries. Each side blamed the other for the collapse of negotiations in Washington, leading the U.S. to impose a 50% tariffs on $20 billion worth of Canadian goods, and Canada setting September 8th as the start of its retaliatory penalties. President Donald Trump's import taxes will hit about 5% of what Canada ships to the United States each year. Prime Minister Carney said Ottawa would respond with targeted tariff protection for industries exposed to the new U.S. duties, including some steel products. No further talks were planned. The United States and Jamaica have signed a Status of Forces Agreement, or SOFA, aimed at strengthening military and security cooperation between the two countries. A SOFA establishes the terms under which members of one country's armed forces may temporarily operate in another country for mutually agreed activities, including military training exercises and joint operations. Jamaica joins more than 120 countries that have similar agreements with the United States. In a joint statement, both governments said the agreement sends a message to criminal organizations in the region that the two countries are committed to expanding their cooperation in the fight against groups that are involved in trafficking guns, drugs, and people. Still to come in our news at 7:30. Bahamas Union of Teachers president providing an update on negotiations with the government, adding she hopes for a favorable response by Thursday of this week. Those details coming up when our news continues.
Sun, sea, good friends. And bold new flavor has arrived in the Bahamas. Introducing the new Jalapeno Ranch Cheeseburger. Spicy jalapenos, cool ranch, fresh Wendy's beef, one perfect balance. This isn't a heat you run from, you enjoy it. Bring the heat. Keep the cool with Wendy's new Jalapeno Ranch Cheeseburger.
The Paint Place Independence. It's that time again. Yeah, sun so bright. We got the colors for you to paint it right. We got the things that you need, you know, to paint the work of your dreams. Let's go. On the gone one, people, yeah, we are equal. 24 senses, so high without faith.
I'm very excited, and I can't believe it. It's it's a dream come true. When she did call me yesterday about it, I didn't know what to believe. Thanks to Mr. Coleman and this whole staff for what they do, and making sure the customers are taken care of, making sure we enjoy the gaming they do give to us. Chances is a great house to play, even down to the staff, is perfect. You're going to marvel.
It only takes a second for things to go wrong. Are you prepared? Don't become a statistic. Follow these simple rules. Leave early, obey road signs, wear seatbelts, invest in hands-free devices, and don't drink and drive. I'm Inspector Gerard Cum of the Royal Bahamas Police Force, reminding you that road safety is no accident.
Welcome back. And now to that story we promised you at the top of the newscast. Grief filling the room today as relatives gather to honor the 5 young Bahamians killed in the devastating June 28th Shirley Street crash, a tragedy that shook the nation. For the first time since the crash, the only survivor is speaking out about that fateful night. The families of the victims also receiving a donation from the Bahamas Christian Council, offering much needed financial support as they continue to grieve. Evelyn Ferguson has the story.
Mathurin, recovery from the June 28 Shirley Street crash has been a day-by-day journey. One of the only survivors of that tragic accident that claimed the lives of 5 others, Mathurin speaking publicly for the first time today. Detailing her recovery experience, she says it took an emotional toll on her as she tried to process what had happened.
And in the hospital, it was scary, and then it was like also playing with my mind because, everything that happened. Recovery is going well. Still in my wheelchair, but day by day I'm getting better, so I thank God for that.
And as she continues to heal, Mathurin says she has been deeply moved by the support she's received.
The whole Bahamas and then people outside the Bahamas just was pouring love and praying for everyone to get better and praying for the families to find peace. So it was just nice to see it. And I can't thank people enough, and just thank everyone for everything that they did and all the love that they poured in.
Keno Gordon Jr., Stenia Webb, Patricia Brown, Evelina Johnson, and Diamond Stubbs were among the 5 people who lost their lives in that fatal crash. Just weeks after laying his daughter, Diamond Stubbs, to rest in Cat Island, her father, Damian Stubbs, is also reflecting on the financial and emotional strain the tragedy placed on families.
It's a little because of some assistance from the entire nation, it was a little less stress for us. That's actually all families that was involved. Our main challenge was probably just getting the families to and from the island and stuff like that, and we actually somehow got that came through. So this donation actually will just bring back some aid to replace some of the funds that we personally had to spend.
That donation came today at Bahamas Harvest Church, where families gathered to remember their loved ones and find strength in community. The Bahamas Christian Council presented the families with a check for $21,013, money intended to help offset funeral expenses. Council President Pastor Mario Moxie says the response from churches across the country was driven by compassion and a desire to stand with the families in their time of need.
As a Christian community and leaders, we discussed it, we recognized that there's something that we needed to do. And we thought that it would be great if we were to pool resources, ask the churches to come together in a compassion offering. We made the call to churches, and they responded in such an incredible way. They gave of themselves, they gave of their time and prayers.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Evelyn Ferguson.
Thanks so much for that story, Evelyn, and great initiative by the Christian Council and the community at large. To watch any of today's top stories, be sure to visit ournews.bs or join the conversation at Our News Bahamas on your favorite social media platform. That's going to do it for our news at 7. I'm Megan Shepard, handing it over to our Talia Hall Thomas for the latest headlines.
Welcome back, Megan.
Thanks so much.
All right, well, coming up, the power crisis still a concern across the country tonight. We hear from the deputy leader of the Free National Movement and an RF Bank and Trust executive. Here are your latest headlines. First tonight on our news, live at 7:30.
The Ministry of Education hold an presser today at OPM with the national examination scoring. The results coming up ahead.
Also, the Bahamas Union of Teachers is providing an update on negotiations while also addressing plans for its general membership meeting. Plus, police are responding to documents now circulating publicly tonight. We have the latest on what authorities are saying about the leak. And later, a former Royal Bahamas Defense Force Marine accused of attempting to transport guns and thousands of rounds of ammunition to the Bahamas is set for trial in the U.S. in December. The story when our news live at 7:30 returns.
Tourism today. Bahamas tourism today.
Marketing Manager of the Bahamas Out Island Promotion Board, L'Oreal Sweeting, took a moment to share the opportunities available for Bahamians who want to explore the islands of the Bahamas.
This has been a promotion that we've been encouraging Bahamian residents to take advantage of for years now. It's our fly free offer from Nassau. What that entails is if you stay any of our member hotels for 2 nights, we pay for your round trip ticket to that island. So most of the islands they can travel to, Abaco, Eleuthera, and Exuma has always been a hot topic. People enjoy going there, but it doesn't limit other islands like Long Island, Cat Island, and San Salvador. People can check out Bahamas Residence, residnts.com for all of the information for the member properties and the islands that are able to be used in this offer. So one thing I love about this offer, I just used it last week to have a little rest and relaxation in Abaco, is that it only takes 2 nights. You can use it at any of the hotels mentioned on the website. What happens is if you book with the hotel directly, you will end up paying for your tickets, but they will deduct the cost of your tickets from their hotel folio. You can also use Majestic Holidays 676-2620, and they will book your flight and also your hotel at one time and give you the rate that doesn't have the ticket included. Or you can use our Bahamian Expedia, I like to call it, bahamago.com, and they can also do the hotel and flight in one and give you the discounted rate. So one thing I would always like to encourage Bahamian residents to take advantage of this offer is because it's really important to reconnect with our culture, and I think that's even more important during this time as we celebrate independence. Kind of understand why Abaconians put mayonnaise in their conch salad, or why in Bimini it's garlic salt, but also look at the historical parts of it, and also take advantage to really experience the different accents that we have in the Bahamas that most of us might take for granted just living in Nassau. So it's always really important for me as a Bahamian to connect with the islands.
Welcome to our news. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Natalia Hall-Thomas. First tonight, the 2026 national examination results are in. And while officials are pointing to a modest overall improvement, the numbers reveal some concerning trends in key core subjects. English and mathematics in particular continue to be areas of concerns, with officials now looking at why students are struggling and what can be done to turn those numbers around. Archie Nassau out and breaks down this year's results.
Performance in the core and heavily subscribed subjects remains an important area for attention.
Education Director Dominique Russell says the core subjects remain the ministry's #1 priority, as passing performance in some of those areas continues to decline. And that concern is reflected in this year's national examination results. Just over 10,000 students registered for the BJC examinations in 2025. Of those students, 10.19% earned an A, while 16.41% received a B. Nearly 38% fell within the C to D range, while another 38% failed, receiving grades ranging from E to U. A grades rose to more than 11%, B grades neared 17%, and the failure rate dropped to 34.24%. Russell says 11 of those 13 BJC subjects saw an improvement in their grade point average, but one of the core subjects was left behind.
English, language, and religious studies were the only subjects to record a decline in GPA.
And when you take a look at students taking 5 or more BJC subjects, 3,904 students fit into that category this year. Of that group, 1,950 earned passing grades across their subjects. But the number of students meeting the ministry's core subject benchmark was much lower. Just 1,040 students, or 11.88% of the overall BJC candidates, earned a C or better in mathematics, English, and a science subject. The BGCSE results tells a similar story. Of the 6,103 students registered, the overall pass rate increased from just over 70% last year to 71.49% this year. At the same time, the failure rate dropped from nearly 30% to 28.51%. But again, the results look different when you focus on the core subjects. Only 360 students earned passing grades in English, mathematics, and science subjects.
These statistics should be interpreted within the context of candidates who distribute their subject load across multiple years. The annual figures provide a snapshot of performance in a single examination cycle and may not capture the complete cumulative achievement of candidates who have earned qualifications over more than one sitting.
So what's behind the struggle? The ministry said that they've looked into this question, particularly when it comes to math, And Russell says that the study shows that amongst other concern, there's been a disengagement between both students and teachers. Now, they said that they've brought in extra math officers that will aid in additional support in the schools, as well as implementing math labs that will give kids hands-on learning. Now, additional training is also being considered, particularly at the primary school level, and they're hoping to work towards this issue. Now, even though the overall results have improved, the ministry did acknowledge that there is still work that needs to be done. Reporting for Our News, I'm Chinasa Outen.
All right, thanks so much for that report, Chinasa. Well, with the opening of school just days away, negotiations between the Bahamas Union of Teachers and government continue. But with no final agreement yet reached, Union President Belinda Wilson says the union has submitted its counter-proposal and is now waiting on a response from government. In a statement released Sunday evening, Wilson asked teachers to report to their schools Monday morning as a show of good faith.
As an update, I've been in communication with the government in reference to the new industrial agreement, and I have resubmitted our counter proposal. So in light of this, I'm asking the thousands of members of the Bahamas Union of Teachers, in an act of good faith, to report to your various schools tomorrow morning, Monday, August the 24th, 2026, the first day for teachers to return at your usual time, 8:45 a.m. It is hoped that we will receive an acceptable response from the government by Thursday. Failure to receive a satisfactory response, we will decide the way forward at our general membership meeting, scheduled for Thursday, August the 27th, 2026.
Well, at a press conference at the Office of the Prime Minister, Director of Education Dominique Russell was asked whether the ministry is prepared for possible union action. Russell says the ministry is hoping it doesn't get to that point.
Honest with you, we're hoping that the negotiations will not fail. We're looking forward to seeing all of our teachers in the space. Our children are excited, and the team members that we spoke to, they're excited. We will have a conclave on Wednesday with all of our teachers. We normally review the year before, and we tell them about the successes that we have had and what we are planning to do for the new year. So we expect to have all of our teachers are in the space right now, so we expect to see them continue their excellent work.
Well, an internal police investigation is now underway after a confidential 10-page crime-fighting operation plan was leaked last week. The document, titled Operation Clean Sweep, outlined a number of planned police operations across the country, including road checks and other enforcement activities scheduled throughout the weekend. The leak came ahead of a weekend that saw 3 deadly shootings across New Providence. Commissioner of Police Shanton Knowles says the leak is being taken seriously, warning that making those operational details public could have given criminals an opportunity to avoid police. She says an investigation is now underway to determine who released the document, and if identified, that person could face disciplinary and possible criminal action.
Because of the leakage of that document, it caused those who we are trying to put a control on, that gives them a leeway now to prevent our road checks, to prevent us from executing our duties. And so we're not happy about it. We're investigating that matter. And should we uncover where or who leaked that document, they will be facing charges within our organization.
A former Royal Bahamas Defense Force Marine accused of trying to smuggle 9 guns and 15,000 rounds of ammunition from Florida to the Bahamas is set to go on trial in December. 37-year-old Ray Strawn is expected to appear before U.S. District Judge Melissa Damian on December 14th. Court documents allege Strawn was absent without leave from the RBDF when he was arrested by Florida Highway Patrol officers on April 18th. Officers allegedly found 2 pistols in the bed of the truck Strawn was driving driving after he identified himself as a law enforcement officer and told them about the weapons. A search of the truck's storage bins allegedly turned up 7 more firearms, 15,000 rounds of rifle ammunition, and multiple high-capacity magazines. Prosecutors alleged Strawn was headed to a marina where the contraband was to be taken by boat to the Bahamas. He was subsequently dismissed from the Royal Bahamas Defense Force. A 40-year-old man is facing a stealing by reason of service charge after he allegedly failed to deliver a vehicle he was paid to purchase and ship to the Bahamas. Prosecutors allege Nadia Johnson paid Ronaldo Cartwright a total of $14,200 in 3 installments between December 2024 and March 2025. But prosecutors say more than a year later, Johnson has still not received the vehicle. Cartwright denied the charge when he appeared before Assistant Chief Magistrate Cara Turnquest DeVoe. He was granted $5,000 bail and is due back in court for trial in November. Well, switching gears now, cloudy skies in the capital to start off the work week. Meteorologist Greg Thompson is in the Weather Center with your first look. Greg, what can you tell us?
Yeah, thanks, Natalia, and a happy Monday evening, everybody. Warm conditions on the outside. We'll call it humid as well. Temperatures into the upper 80s. 88 degrees our current temperature with an east wind at 9 miles per hour. Feels like 98 degrees on the outside. Satellite radar composite, weak boundary to the north of Grand Bahama and the Abaco, sparking a few showers and some isolated thunderstorms up in that area. Saharan dust and a ridge of high pressure continuing to dominate the remainder of the island, as well as that Saharan dust, keeping things slightly drier. And we will continue to see this trend throughout the night and into tomorrow, with that boundary hanging out just to the north of the Bahamas. We are also going to see some breezy conditions, mainly across the southeast Bahamas. That's a quick check on conditions around the islands. Stick with us. We'll take a look at the tropics and your extended forecast when we come back.
Still to come on our news, with outages continuing across the country, F&M Deputy Leader Shannon Cartwright is calling for compensation for residents and businesses whose equipment was damaged. And later, as Bahamians navigate those power issues, an RF Bank and Trust executive is offering his views on the situation.
We've known about this for decades. I'm 58 years old, and we've had power problems for 58 years of my life, so my entire life.
That's all coming up when our news returns.
Imagine a world where every brand knows your name and every store awaits your arrival. Elite Shopping. Travel where luxury is a lifestyle and every journey feels like home. Dine where every flavor is just for you, every table reserved, and every moment a taste of perfection. Make every big moment even bigger. Experience banking where wealth isn't just managed, it's maximized. Step into a world without limits. Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
The Paint Place Independence. It's that time again. Yeah, sun's over. We got the colors for you to paint it right. We got the things that you need, you know, to paint the work of your dreams. Let's go on the gone one. People, yeah, we are equal. 21 sensitive, so high without faith.
Hurricane season is here, and staying informed is crucial. Stay with our news and the RTV network for reliable coverage and insights you need. Our experienced meteorologists and reporters are dedicated to bringing you timely, relevant updates to help keep you and your loved ones safe. Stay with the team you already trust this hurricane season. Tune in and stay informed. Your safety depends on it.
Amid frustrating power outages in the capital and throughout the Family Islands, Free National Movement Deputy Leader Shannon Cartwright is calling for Bahamas Power and Light to compensate Bahamian residents and businesses for damaged appliances and equipment. In a voice message, Cartwright says a national power crisis persists. Bahamian families and businesses continue to pay the price for what he calls BPLs and the government's failures in real terms.
It cannot be expected that Bahamians should be simply satisfied with explanations and statements. As the crisis remains, Bahamian families and business owners are lamenting the consequences and material costs to their households and businesses. How is BPL addressing the real-life, day-to-day consequences and fallout Bahamians and small businesses have faced during sustained power disruptions?
Cartwright says BPL must act with greater urgency to meet basic power demands, provide relief, and expedite compensation to Bahamians affected by the outages.
They're costing Bahamians food in freezers, wages from missed work, damaged appliances, and equipment. Yet while consumers lose, they're still forced to pay full BPL bills and live with the impact of unreliable, mediocre, and fluctuating electricity. BPL ought to set aside additional funds to compensate Bahamians who continue to experience damaged equipment and appliances due to the ongoing debilitating outages and surges.
Well, the power crisis isn't just leaving homes in the dark. It's putting businesses, tourism, and the wider economy under pressure. Just last week, downtown Nassau provided another clear example of just how costly the outages can be. Businesses in the heart of the capital were left without power during a busy cruise ship day, forcing some merchants to operate in dark stores and leaving them with limited ways to process sales. The downtown outage was linked to an issue at BPL's East Hill Street substation. The issue once again highlighting the continuing reliability problems facing the country's power grid. While during our monthly sit-down interview, RF Bank and Trust Vice President and Group Head of Investments David Slatter says the economic fallout from the outages is significant, but he also weighs in on another critical question: who is ultimately to blame for the country's ongoing power problems?
Quite often it's BPL that gets blamed, but we know that it's also the transmission infrastructure has been part of the problem. And that falls under the domain of Bahamas Grid Company. So it's not fair to simply point the finger at BPL. We also need to ask some questions of Bahamas Grid Company. Every administration blames the previous administration because they inherited a problem, but the reality is they've been inheriting the problem from each other because we've been, flip-flopping an administration. So I do lose my patience with that argument, right? So we've known about this for decades. I mean, I'm 58 years old, and we've had power problems for 58 years of my life. So my entire life, all right? So I'm getting a bit frustrated with the back and forth. What I would like to know, is if you look at the power infrastructure in the Bahamas, previously it was all a state-owned enterprise, but now it's broken into three buckets. So you have the importation and storage of LNG and I guess bunker C, but mainly LNG. That's now focal. You've got the power generation, which is still the state-owned BPL. Then you've got Bahamas Grid Company, which is now privatized. One question that I would love to have answered is, who are the private shareholders behind Bahamas Grid Company Limited? All right, so 40% owned by the government, 6% owned by private investors. The government contributed the actual transmission infrastructure, valued at over $100 million. They got 40%. The private investors injected $30 million and got 60%. I'd just like to know, who got that really good deal. And I think seeing that it was a state enterprise that was sold, the Bahamian people should know that detail.
Coming up in sports, it's a night of stars. In Chile, one got the keys to the city and the others played some basketball. In Brooklyn, another was back on the floor, and in the Bronx, another tries to hold off the world's most toxic fan base.
Bing bang bing. Bing bang bing. Bing bing bang. Bang bang bang. Bing bang bing. Bing bang bing. Bing bing bang. Bam bam bang, bing bang bing, bam bam, bing bang bing, bing bang. Bing bang ding, ding ding bang.
Somewhere's Plaza, got it going on, yeah. Somewhere's Plaza, one-stop shopping is here. The family, community, for me. Southwest Plaza, come shop with us. Shop, shop, we've got so many stores. Shop, shop, prices are right. Come spend the day, bring the family. Southwest Plaza, come shop with us.
Comfort Suites Paradise Island is the best kept secret in the Bahamas. Located directly next door to the Atlantis Resort, you'll receive all the privileges of an Atlantis guest with all the benefits of a Comfort Suite stay. Enjoy everything Atlantis has to offer, including Aquaventure Water Park, plus all the amenities of Comfort Suites. Free Wi-Fi, free breakfast daily, and kids stay, play, and eat free. Visit ComfortSuitesPI.com.
Every week, one show drives the national conversation. On the Record, we challenge the issues, ask the tough questions, and dig deeper. We bring in the experts, the decision makers, and the voices that matter. Our discussions shape policy, influence change, and inform the public like no other. Join us every Thursday at 8 p.m. and again on Sunday at 8 p.m. The conversations that shape the Bahamas start here, on the Record.
Welcome to Our Sports, presented by 10th year seniors. I'm Ronaldo Dorset. Let's do show. We needed to see what it looked like without the NBA guys, and against another round 2 team. Gotta say, looked pretty good. Also, it's insane that John pulled this whole thing off from where these conversations first started. Team Bahamas got the chilly test out of the way with a 94-87 win in Santiago, and there was plenty to like. Franco Miller Jr. was cooking, dropping 30 points and knocking down 5 threes. Dominic Bridgewater did a little of everything with a double-double, 19 points and 10 assists. Isaiah Mobley also scored 19, grabbed 8 boards, and went 3 for 3 from beyond the arc. Keno Burrows also got into double figures with 10 points. Good reps and probably an even better celebration because John got the keys to the city. But now the friendly is done. August 27th is the real deal. Team Bahamas heads to Uruguay to open the second round of World Cup qualifying. Then they come home to Nassau on August 31st for a showdown with Panama at the Kendall Isaacs Gym. With only 7 World Cup spots up for grabs in the Americas, every game matters from here on out. Okay, it was kind of weird that the Liberty kept silent for days on the JJ injury front. It was going to either be one of 2 extremes, catastrophic or nothing. Turned out to be the latter. The ankle was questionable, Jonquel Jones wasn't. Just 4 days after leaving the Liberty's loss to Chicago with a left ankle injury, JJ was back on the floor Saturday night, and she looked pretty comfortable. She dropped another double-double, 19 points and 10 boards in just 29 minutes, helping the Liberty to take down the Indiana Fever 109-102 at Barclays Center. She shot 50% from the field, hit a 3, and was a perfect 8 for 8 from the free throw line. But this wasn't just about JJ's return. It's been about her dominant play of late. This was her 5th double-double in the last 7 games. The only 2 games she didn't hit the mark, the aforementioned game against Chicago when she got hurt just 6 minutes in, and a blowout win over Las Vegas when she played just 19 minutes. After the ankle scare, JJ is back, and the Liberty is starting to look healthy at the right time. Speaking of extremes, fans in New York, Yankee fans in New York specifically, I think everyone understands. The important thing is that they love Jazz right now. Until the next game. Jazz upped the production at the plate against another American League rival, and that's always good news for the Yankees. He went 2 for 4 with 2 runs and 2 RBI on Sunday, including his 18th home run of the season, a 2-run blast in the 7th that helped the Yankees put away Toronto 8-3. The night before, Jazz also went 2 for 4, including a single that broke up a no-hitter for Dylan Cease in the 7th inning before adding a double and a stolen base. And while Jazz is heating up, the Yankees are heating up in the standings. New York is now 74-56, just 2.5 games behind Tampa Bay for a first-place lead in the AL East. The race is on, Chisholm is starting to turn up the volume, and he will have to drown out the noise of the naysayers. That'll do it for sports. This is 10YS. Great moment for Bahamas basketball, yada yada yada, but great moment for 10YS. We already have more here than any other sports newscast in the country, and now we got a key to the city. Our parents couldn't be more proud.
When our news comes back from the break, cloudy skies but fairly nice temperatures in the capital on this Monday. Greg is back with your extended weather forecast when our news returns. Stay with us.
I'm very excited, and I can't believe it. It's a dream come true. When she did call me yesterday about it, I didn't know what to believe. Thanks to Mr. Coleman and this whole staff for what they do, and making sure the customers are taken care of, making sure we enjoy the gaming they do give to us. Kansas is a great house to play, even down to the staff is perfect. You're going to marvel.
The Jilly Radara makes life so much easier. Owning a production company means that I'm on the road constantly going to shoots. So one of the advantages of having a truck like this is it's a beautiful 2026 truck, but it's still rugged. You could go home, plug into your home charger, so you don't ever have to think about gas. If you need space, you need something that is efficient, you need something that you feel comfortable in as a business owner. The Jilly Radara ticks every one of those boxes. For me, Easy Car Sales made the process as simple as possible. It's unbeatable.
Doctors Hospital's reimagined primary care. We have invested to improve our health system, ensuring that accessible, affordable, world-class clinical care is closer to you. Your relationship with a primary care provider shapes the foundation of your overall health. Our new, modern primary care facilities are where critical diagnosis and true personalized treatment begin. With locations across New Providence, Grand Bahama, and Exuma, we invite you to experience the Doctors Hospital difference. Book your next appointment at clinics.doctorshos.com.
Celebrates the Bahamian spirit, from culture and craft to our reefs and jungle, preserving what's ours, shaping what's next. Like, it's in our hands.
This is our news. Welcome back. The tropics getting a little active right now. There are two areas that we're continuing to monitor over the course of the next couple of days. The first one just to the southeast of Bermuda, and that's Bermuda right about there. Disorganized showers and thunderstorms and National Hurricane Center giving this about a medium chance, about 50% chance for formation. We'll continue to pull towards the west-northwest and eventually more towards the north over the course of the next day or two. We expect the system to have a very narrow window for formation, so we could see a tropical storm form by the next 24, maybe 36 hours, but by Wednesday we expect that to move into the open Atlantic and move into some cooler waters. Then we have an area that we're watching closely coming off the African coast, strong tropical wave. National Hurricane Center giving that a medium chance for formation. This is one we'll continue to monitor over the course of the next couple of days as we are now approaching the end of August. We're closing out August and starting September, pick up the hurricane season. National Hurricane Center will continue to monitor this, should be moving towards the west-northwest, eventually moving to near the Les Antilles by the end of the week. We could see a tropical storm or tropical depression or a tropical storm form out of this, but by the beginning of next week it should be to the east of the Bahamas. So this is one we will continue to closely monitor over the next several days. Closer to home though, we have a weak boundary just to the north of us, sparking some showers and some thunderstorms across the northwest Bahamas. Saharan dust and a ridge of high pressure dominates the remainder of the islands. Quiet conditions there. A spotty shower or two expected. Breezy conditions across the southeast Bahamas. That ridge will start to strengthen a little bit, so we're looking for those winds to be picking up over the course of the next couple of days. So it's going to be a little choppy on the waters if you plan on doing any boating. Future forecast showing not much moisture across the central and southeast Bahamas. Most of the activity, as mentioned, across the northern islands, staying well to the north. One or two spotty showers over the course of the next day or two, and then we have a more moisture moving across the northern Bahamas by about Wednesday into Thursday. Boating forecast, northwest and central Bahamas tonight to tomorrow. Your winds will be out of the east to southeast at 10 to 15 knots. Seas running 2 to 4 feet. Those winds will fall light and variable across the northwest Bahamas. Tides is presently high, will be low at 46 minutes past midnight. Your next high tide will be at 6:32 in the morning. Southeast Bahamas, caution flag in place for you down there. Easterly winds at 15 to 20 knots. Seas running 4 to 6 feet. Here's a look now at your national forecast. In the extended forecast, off and on showers throughout the week as that boundary stays just to the north of us and our winds turn more towards the east-southeast, bringing us some more Atlantic moisture. Temperatures will stay in the 90-degree mark, and those heat indices will remain for the remainder of the islands for the next couple of days. But we will continue to monitor that tropical wave coming off of Africa. We still have a lot of time, and that's a good reminder that you should get your hurricane plans in order. That's a look at our weather. Make it a safe night, everybody.
All right, thanks so much for that, Greg, and thank you for joining us for our news tonight on behalf of the entire team. I'm Natalia Hall-Thomas. We'll see you tomorrow night. Have a great evening.